to Georgia Championship Wrestling. I'm Gordon Soley, your host, and what a week we've had here in the state of Georgia. First of all, on Monday night, April 27th in Augusta, Georgia, Tommy Wildfire Rich met and defeated World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race. And Tommy Wildfire Rich won the World Heavyweight Championship. We'll have more about that later on in the program. Let me just say that Mr. Jim Crockett, the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, has just flown in. He has just arrived here in Atlanta. He'll be on the program very, very shortly. He's been over there for the Japanese International Heavyweight Championship. But, of course, due to the situation that happened here in the state of Georgia during this past week, he has returned here to Atlanta. We'll be having him on the air along with Tommy Rich. I think once again, however, this proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the competition throughout the world right now is so keen in professional wrestling that a world champion could be defeated anytime, anywhere. But for the first time in the history of the state of Georgia, and more particularly in Augusta, the World Heavyweight Championship did change hands, Tommy Rich defeating Harley Race for that title. We've got some great matches coming up, and as I say, an exclusive interview with Tommy Rich and with Mr. Jim Crockett, the president of the NWA. That'll be following very shortly. Also, we'll be seeing the Freebirds in action. We'll be seeing Bruiser Brody. We'll be seeing Ted DiBiase and many, many more. So by all means, do stay tuned. Some great, great action coming up. And right now, let's turn it over to our ring announcer for the introduction of this first match.
Ladies and gentlemen, this event one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from San Antonio, Texas, at a weight of 220 pounds, here's Pat Rose. Pat Rose. His opponent from Huntsville, Alabama, at a weight of 237 pounds, here's Bobby Eaton. Bobby Eaton.
Bobby Eaton in the blue trunks, going up against Pat Rose in the black trunks. One fall, 10-minute time limit. Back into the ring ropes very quickly. All right, once again, they lock up collar and elbow, and it is Rose bullying Eaton back into the turnbuckle. Coming away from the corner. Good arm drag takedown, and then once again, it is Eaton with a single leg pickup on Rose, has him back to the canvas. All right, Eaton keeping total pressure now on the left leg of Pat Rose, keeping that leg tied up. Both of these young fellows extremely aggressive competitors. And Rose finally broke it up and on his feet. Both of these men razor sharp. Collar and elbow. Again, Rose tried to bull him back to the ropes. Eaton into a top wrist lock. Eaton now tried coming across the jaw. Apparently could not get the leverage that he wanted. Back to the ropes. And it is Rose catching Eaton a good shoulder smash. That time it was Eaton retaliating. Caught him in the chest. Drove a knee into the shoulder. Snapmare that has Eaton back to the canvas once again. All right, Rose having that left arm trapped with an arm bar. Now back to his feet. And Eaton driving on the back of the head. Looked to try and overhook an arm, could not. Keeps the arm bar. On the left arm of the Pat Rose now, chin lock. That's immediately twisting. You see the way he's pulling the head to one side, trapping the arm the other way. Both of these young men, very, very aggressive. Breaks by Rose, and Rose now with the arm drag takedown reverses the situation and now has the arm bar on Bobby Eaton. And it continues to be Pat Rose keeping the armbar on Eaton, keeping him to the canvas now. Eaton back to his feet.
Come on, Bobby.
Eaton being trapped now by this armbar, but it is Eaton pulling him back to the ropes, fires him off the ropes. Drove a boot into the midsection, coming off those ropes, and Eaton again very quickly moves in on this man. Using the legs very effectively. Pat Rose driven back to the canvas. Now the flat of the foot, which is legal. The flat of the foot is legal once again. Eaton now explodes with the right hand to the prefrontal lobe on Pat Rose. And now the Russian leg sweep set up. Tried to set him for the Russian leg sweep and a block by Pat Rose. But nonetheless, Eaton has his man under control at this point in time.
Come on, Bobby. Yeah, Bobby. Come on, Rose. Come on, Rose.
Eaton backing away from it now. A wide step over, keeping the arm barred. And so Pat Rose has found himself on the receiving end here the most part of this match. Rose may well be just testing this man, finding out just how far he thinks he can go before, but again, you see Eaton maintaining a completely aggressive style. Again, twisting the arm to one side, the head to the other. Now back to the arm bar. Rose explodes with a forearm to the side of the jaw of Bobby Eaton. And again, it is Eaton driving the knee into the side of the rib cage of Pat Rose. And it was Rose driven into the turnbuckle, and now Eaton beginning to unload on Pat Rose on that left arm. And he is, and now Rose fires him one to the midsection, another one, and Rose explodes. One to the side of the jaw, Bobby, one to the side of the head. Rips across the face. Leapfrog by Rose. Eaton fine with a knee coming off the ropes. Driving that arm, those biceps into the throat of Pat Rose, and Eaton now continues to press that advantage. A full body slam. Eaton moving up on that second rope. Rose stunned. Eaton crashes down across his chest. He has a count of three. He's got the count of three. And a very, very fine match between two very aggressive young competitors. Let me see if I can't have a word with the winner here, Bobby Eaton. Here's a young man who, of course, at one time held the National Television Championship, a title that I'm sure he's anxious to regain. A very aggressive match.
Thank you, Mr. Stoller. You know, a lot of things happening right here now in Georgia. And I guarantee you before it's all over with, the people in Georgia, not only in Georgia, but in the whole United States and the world, are going to know about Bobby Eaton, I guarantee you.
Well, I must say that you certainly had a very aggressive match with a very tough competitor, but you appear to be in a tremendous condition.
Well, I've been training hard, Mr. Stoller, because I know if you train hard and you get in the ring with a guy that ain't been training hard, you got about that much more of an edge on him, Mr. Stoller. So when I get in the ring, like I told you last time, when I get in the ring with a guy that lays back and lays out with a big fat stomach every night, and I come in the ring and I catch him with his eyes looking somewhere else, I'm going to put a boot upside his face.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stoller.
Bobby Eaton. Certainly a pleasure and an honor to have with me right now the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, Mr. Jim Crockett, who just deplaned a couple of hours ago here in Atlanta after an overseas flight from Tokyo, Japan. And Mr. Crockett, of course, I know you heard the word. You were in Japan when you heard the word that Tommy Wildfire Rich had defeated Harley Race for the World Championship in Augusta, Georgia.
And the people in Japan were certainly buzzing about it. Tommy is extremely well known over there, even though he hasn't been there yet. Tommy's reputation is worldwide, and of course his defeating Harley Race Monday night in Augusta proved that his reputation is well deserved.
Certainly no question about that. But on the opposite side of the ledger, Tommy, of course, there was a rematch clause that Harley Race has standardized, of course, in all of his contracts. There was a rematch, and the outcome on the flip side was not quite that.
No, so it sure wasn't, Gordon. You know, it was Monday night in Augusta. It was like a dream come true, I guess. And, You know, and just like you said, I wrestled Harley Race last night, and I didn't do so good. But, you know, the thing is that, you know, I've been after Harley Race for a long time, and it got to the point I didn't know if I could beat him. So I proved to myself and to all the people that's been behind Tommy Rich that I can beat him, and, you know, I'll get another chance. And I'd just like to thank Mr. Crockett, first of all, you know, for coming by, and, you know, I certainly appreciate him stopping.
The Harley Race has, in fact, regained the World Heavyweight Championship last night in Gainesville.
That's correct, but I believe Tommy is the youngest man ever to hold the NWA Heavyweight Championship, and he's to be highly commended for that.
Well, certainly no question about that, Tommy, and that had to be that ultimate thrill when you stepped into a class of professional wrestlers that's very elitist indeed.
Well, Gordon, you know, Monday night in Memphis, I mean, still shook up, you know, after it's all happened, you know, in Augusta Monday night. You know, even after it happened, you know, I got up and I knew I'd got the 3 count, but I could, you know, I couldn't even comprehend winning. I didn't realize, and I don't even think the people realized that I'd even won the match until Ronnie West come over and raised my hand, and, you know, that's when I started realizing what had just really happened to Tommy Rich.
Well, I'll tell you what we might do, gentlemen. We might just take a look. Let's journey to Augusta, the 3 of us, and all of you, and we'll take a look at this match as it took place. There we see, of course, the man who has now regained the World Championship for a 6th time, which indeed could be a record, too.
I believe that is the record for holding the NWA Championship.
All right, here we are in Augusta, April 27th, last Monday night, and it's Tommy Rich with a beautiful takedown. And, well, obviously, Tommy, a lot of exciting things going on, and your mind must have been really buzzing at that point in time.
Yes, Gordon, you know, it was, it was one of the biggest crowds that they had in Augusta. And, you know, just like I've said many times, you know, the people was there. They were behind me 100%. And, you know, it was just, you know, I felt it. You know, you feel it when it's there. And I felt like that was going to be my night.
Well, obviously, fate was your night, but here's where he set you for a suplex. You blocked it beautifully, came back over the man, and were stunned here. You were wrestling against the world's finest and certainly one of the most uncannily intelligent men I've ever known.
Yes, sir. You know, that's exactly right, Gordon. You know, Harley's been wrestling for some time longer than myself. You know, he's got a lot more experience. And he's one tough man. I don't think I've wrestled anybody as tough as Harley Race. And, I mean, that goes without saying, or he wouldn't be the world heavyweight champion for as long as he has.
Race continuing to press an advantage here. And, Tommy, at this point, did you feel that perhaps the tide was going against you?
Yeah, you know, right here, Gordon, you know, I was about half out, and, you know, all I could hear the people screaming and hollering, go, Tommy, go. And, you know, it just makes you reach down and get a little bit more.
And, of course, you went with the sleeper hold, had Race in trouble here. And, again, you began to think that things were beginning to move your way. However, he was able to escape from that. And both of you battling your way back to your feet. Again, he rolls out of the way. Your right arm was beginning to give you troubles. He came up on the top rope. You caught him. And things were now definitely beginning to look up for Tommy Rich.
That's right here, Gordon. The tide did start changing. And, you know, I don't know where it come from, but I got a little extra. You know, the adrenaline got going, and I wasn't going to give up. You know, I just kept going, and I wasn't going to quit.
And, of course, you got the news Monday night, obviously, with a tremendous time lag barrier and everything else. This must have had, as you said earlier, quite a profound effect upon the people in Japan.
Well, it happened Monday night over here, but that was actually Tuesday afternoon in Japan when I heard about it.
And this, of course, then caused Jim Crockett to come hurrying back, and in the process, while you were flying back here to the United States, suddenly the situation is reversed again.
That's correct, Gordon.
Right here, Harley had me down with a suplex, and, you know, like I said, Gordon, I don't know where I was getting it at, but I was reaching down, and just every time he caught me, all I could think of was kick out, kick out.
Well, Tommy, I think you typify so many of the young lions in professional sports today. Here he tried to set you with a pile driver, brought you up. That would normally put any competitor out of action, but you had to dig down deep.
Well, that's right, Gordon. You know, Harley, when he gets you down, he stays on you. He's not gonna give you no breathing room. You know, he just hangs back and he waits for his chance. And once he gets you, he goes all the way with it. And just like, you know, anything he can do to beat you, he's gonna do it.
And again, he tried to set up with that high vertical suplex. Again, a beautiful block by you. You countered him extremely well. Caught him with that vertical body block.
Right there, Gordon, you know, he suddenly, I got behind him, and all I could think of was hitting that rope, and when I come off, he was looking around, and I caught him with a press. See right there, you can see, Gordon, I didn't even know it. You know, when he come over and handed me the belt, right there is when I finally realized what had happened to Tommy Rich.
And it had happened indeed. Tommy Rich joining a very select few to ever win the NWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. As we said, of course, unfortunately, in the... well, let's just share this moment of ecstasy that you must be feeling right now. Just absolute joy, and you can hear that crowd. They're absolutely delirious. History being made, we're seeing it as it was being made in Augusta, Georgia, for the first time ever, the World Heavyweight Championship changing hands in, well, the home of the Masters and many others. And there you see a very dejected Harley Race, former World Heavyweight Champion. But the man, I think Mr. Crockett has proved once again, though, that Harley Race is certainly an outstanding champion. There's certainly nothing that can be taken away from that man.
Oh, that's right. He's a world-class wrestler, but I think Tommy Rich has proved that he's in the same class with Mr. Harley Race.
And so that means, obviously, Tommy, that your number one sights are set on Harley Race once again.
Well, that's exactly right, Gordon. You know, and the thing I guess that makes me the proudest of all, that I did come back to Georgia, and I did win the belt right here in Georgia, and the people, you know, just like I've said, they've been behind me 100%. And all I can say is I hope I do get another chance at Harley Race, and when it's over, I'll walk out on top.
I feel very confident by the comments from Mr. Jim Crockett, the president of the NWA, that chance will come in the very, very near future. Thanks so much. What a schedule you've been under.
Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Crockett.
Thank you. James Crockett, president of the NWA, and Tommy Rich, Tommy Wildfire Rich. We'll be back in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, this event one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Montgomery, Alabama, at 215 pounds, Frank Sherman. Sherman. His partner from Jacksonville, Florida, at 230 pounds, Mike Davis. And their opponents now entering the ring, the Coast of the Coast, the National Tag Team Champions, ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Freebirds. The Freebirds.
Okay, the fabulous Freebirds, managed by Michael Hayes, who, well, I prefer not to even talk about Michael Hayes, a strange, unusual individual. And he has indeed an unusual control over Miss Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts. But as the Freebirds, they have been highly successful. They hold the National Tag Team Championship. And you can see there, Hayes, some of the strange things he'll do to psych up his athletes. Takedown by Gordy, and Gordy pressing it. Gordy the quarter Nelson now. And Sherman trying to battle his way out. And Gordy all over him, just totally dominating him here at this point in time. And this is the thing about the Freebirds. They are, as far as great wrestlers and great athletes, they are. But they, deep. Well, it's a single, now it's a double underhook. Gordy now pressing his 270-odd pounds down on Sherman, taking every possible advantage over his opponent, allowing him absolutely no surcease whatsoever, keeping a double underhook down into a suplex takedown. Looks like he's could be into the ropes. He is. The referee calls for the break. And again, Gordy maintains a constant offensive against him. Now tags up. Buddy Roberts moves in. Forearm across the back. It is Buddy Roberts. Another forearm. Sherman fires back, but that one lacked authority. There's certainly no question about that. So the Freebirds, a hype takedown, and once again overhooks the head. Sherman would be wise to get over and tag up with Mike Davis if he can. He's taken a lot of punishment. He is so near and yet so far. Another takedown, but they're into the ropes. The referee will force the break. And it's Roberts driving the knee on the break. Sherman again trying to get back to his feet, and it is Terry Gordy moving in on the tag. Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts have just completely dominated this Frank Sherman. Into the ropes again, but Gordy, there you see Michael Hayes briefly shouting more encouragement at his Freebirds, and Sherman now is going to have to make a tag. He is not going to be able to continue to take the punishment that he's taken thus far. Sherman hurdled outside the ropes. Buddy Roberts catches him from outside the ring. And Hayes chiding Sherman to get back into the ring. And as Sherman steps back into the ring, he faces more punishment by Terry Gordy. Gordy now using the back of the elbow effectively. And you can see the way Sherman's upper body has been reddened by Matt Burns already in this match. Sherman, as aggressive as he can be, is having little or no luck at all against these fabulous Freebirds. Buddy Roberts twisting the head, controlling the body. Forearm across the chest. And it is Mike Davis, as you can see, ready to tag if Sherman can get over there to make that tag. And again, Terry Gordy. So the Freebirds have been tagging in and out with great regularity, and they have not allowed Frank Sherman that opportunity. Good block by Sherman. Sherman explodes now. Terry Gordy gets over, makes the tag with Mike Davis, and it's Mike Davis. Mike Davis exploding in the ring on the Freebirds, and so Mike Davis caught him with a flying drop kick. It's Davis now. Now Gordy blocked him nicely. Davis tried to go for a hip lock takedown. Gordy, with a partial Nelson that time, now makes the tag. And it's Buddy Roberts moving in. So Davis, who came in fresh, succumbed that time to a good block by Terry Gordy and a takedown by Gordy. Davis fought with a high knee lift that stuns him. A full body slam by Buddy Roberts. Roberts crashes down across the chest. Buddy Roberts caught him with that elbow coming off the ropes, and Davis, stunned by the impact of that elbow, drops to the canvas. Terry Gordy makes the tag. Terry Gordy with another full body slam. Terry Gordy crashes down, but it was Mike Davis out of the way just in time. Davis makes the tag. It's Frank Sherman moving back into the ring. Sherman has had a brief respite and has had a chance to perhaps get some of his side with that side headlock was blocked now. And boy, don't tell me that Sherman won't fight. He is moving against Gordy with everything that he's got. Terry Gordy finally powers him back and catches him. And now Gordy, sledgehammer blows to the back. Sherman driven back to his knees, and Gordy. Boot to the side of the rib cage of Sherman. Sherman again fires to the midsection. And little or no effect in it is Sherman. Again, hurled outside the ring. It's Gordy moving right out against him now. Rolls him back into the ring. Michael Hayes shouting more because the count was on, and Sherman getting the side headlock, but broken up by Gordy. And this has been a situation where these Freebirds are battling with a vengeance that I have not seen in a long, long time. Buddy Roberts continues to pummel and punish Frank Sherman. Used the bulldog on him. And it was Sherman trying to get over to tag up to no avail. Now the tag is made with Terry Gordy, and Sherman, a beaten, battered man. And it would appear to me that now they're just adding insult to injury and more punishment. And wait a minute. He's got him up for that push. Michael Hayes helping jam that pile driver down. And in my opinion, one would have to say a completely uncalled for situation. And so the Freebirds continue their dubious but winning ways. There's certainly no question about that. Certainly the wrestling spectacular of the year is upcoming at the Omni, and that will be on Sunday, May 17th at 8 p.m. That's Sunday, May 17th at 8 p.m. at the Omni. Tony Atlas has vacated the Georgia Heavyweight Championship in a round-robin tournament with $5,000 plus the belt will go to the winners. Here are the men who have entered the Georgia Heavyweight Championship tournament. The contenders are the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Iron Mike Sharp, Mr. Wrestling 2, Tommy Wildfire Rich, Ray Candy, Bruiser Brody, Greg Valentine, Ken Patera, Mike Boyer, and Bill Irwin. Plus, in a no disqualification, no time limit match, it will be the fabulous Freebirds against Ted DiBiase and the Junkyard Dog. Steve-O, the national heavyweight champion, returns. He'll be defending his title against Bobby Eaton. Ricky Gibson takes on the Angel. Robert Gibson takes on Brian St. John. Tickets are available at all seats locations, the Omni, and the Sports Arena open 9 till 5 daily. So the 17th of May, a very, very critical time. It's going to be a wrestling spectacle.
Why don't you just shut up and let me talk? Let me tell you something. This face may be beautiful, but I feel nasty. Because we've been up all night long. And all we've been thinking about is getting nastier and hurting somebody just like we did that punk. No disqualification is right up our alley. That is our pet thing. No tournament. We're not in a tournament because we don't like rules. We like doing whatever we want. And that's just how we'll hurt you again, DiBiase. But as far as that tournament, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take our 10 grand and I'm going to throw it in the kitty, baby, and watch the wolves go after the money. Any of you. Even you, Dusty Rhodes, any of you. 10 grand to hurt Tommy Rich and get him off my back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this event one fall with a 10-minute time limit. From Romania, 235 pounds, here's Gypsy Joe. Gypsy Joe. His opponent, back in action from Omaha, Nebraska, at 245 pounds, Ted DiBiase.
Ted DiBiase going up against Gypsy Joe. One fall, 10-minute time limit. DiBiase moves out strongly. Gypsy Joe very quickly put it back into the turnbuckle, caught him on the forearm. DiBiase, the forearm across the jaw, and a high hip toss. DiBiase up a beautiful flying drop kick. DiBiase a good arm drag takedown. DiBiase using those forearms very effectively into a snap mare. Drives a knee into the chest. Gypsy Joe powers out before the count of 3. DiBiase circles once again. DiBiase had that arm hooked. Take down Gypsy Joe, pressing an advantage here. DiBiase into a head scissors. Gypsy Joe short chopping punches. DiBiase, modified fireman carry takedown. Well executed. DiBiase on fire since his return after being injured and on the recuperating list for about 5 weeks. And if there was any wonder about whether or not he's back in shape, you can see that he obviously is back in shape. Gypsy Joe catching him a chop into the chest, another one across the chest. And it's DiBiase retaliating in time, and Gypsy Joe was staggered. Gypsy Joe fires back. And a fierce sixer erupting here in DiBiase. Bottom ear driven backwards. Caught again. And Gypsy Joe showing that he is equal to the task. Smashes DiBiase's head into the turnbuckle. Catches him. A boot to the midsection, another boot to the midsection. And now, it is DiBiase exploding. DiBiase up a beautiful flying drop kick. Gypsy Joe into those ropes. DiBiase continues to press his advantage. Full power slam by Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase into the spinning toe, and from there moves very quickly into that figure four. One of the smoothest applications I've ever seen, but it is DiBiase scoring the submission hold on Gypsy Joe, and that's what it's all about. And so Ted DiBiase certainly comes away a winner on this one. Let me get Ted over here for just a moment or two and talk to him, because we do have some other things to talk about. Ted, first of all, congratulations. I think Gypsy Joe has proven to be one of the toughest in the profession today.
He's very tough, Gordon. As you can see, this laceration on my head has opened up again. It's a very deep cut. And Hayes, just one more thing that I've got to think about concerning you. Gordon, I understand you got a BTR.
Right, we're going to go to
what happened last time.
Precisely. Let's do that at this point in time. Let's move back to the Omni and to take a look at the situation as it occurred. And as you catch your breath, Ted, feel perfectly free to lend your comments.
Well, Gordon, when I hit the ring that night in the Omni, I was one fired up man. I was like a racehorse in the starting gate getting ready to come out, and I was going to let everything loose because I had a long time to sit and think about what these people tried to do to me. They didn't try just to beat me. They tried to end my wrestling career, and nobody is going to do that to me. I'm not going to sit by. Every time that I thought about what they had done, it just made me more and more determined to get fired up, to get back in the ring, and not just get even, but to hurt somebody. That's what I want to do. Right now, they've got the advantage on me. Right there, Terry Gordy's going for that pile driver again. As soon as I felt that, there's no way I was going to stay in there for that. Got him back down in the corner. And right now I'm thinking, protect your head, because even though I'm back in the ring, my neck is doing pretty good, but it's still sensitive at times. If I catch the right shot, it's going to hurt me. He got a knee up there, which stunned me. I'm down. I saw that other knee coming. I got out of the way. Right now, I know he hurt his knee, so I'm going to go for that figure four. Try to lock it on as I spun around. On the second time, he kicked me off, and I went through. My head hit the post. And that's where the laceration on the head came from. And then Hayes, he got his cheap shots in, as he always does. Now I'm weakened, I'm bleeding, I'm dazed, and he's got me up. I took another pile driver, Gordon. Once again, I hope Hayes is listening. That's just one more time, one more thing that I've got to think about and get even for. Well, I didn't quit. I have never quit, and there was no way that they were going to stop me or get me down again. Right now, I'm bleeding. I made the tag, the Junkyard Dog. He comes in, he's fired up. Now, Dog is going crazy in the ring. As you can see over on the side, there it is. Michael Hayes comes over and sticks his nose in. I'm down and not being able to do too much right now. And he comes over like the cheap, gutless individual that he is and getting his cheap shots on me while I'm down and not really knowing where I'm at.
Well, obviously, of course, you were just coming back from after 5 weeks after injuries sustained from the junkyard, from the fabulous Freebirds, rather.
Right here, he tried to run me with that post. I came around, I hit him. When I realized, I looked down, I saw all the blood. I saw Michael Hayes, and I went crazy right here, Gordon. I just lost all control of myself. It was like, you've heard of temporary insanity. Well, that's the way I felt right there. If I got my hands on him, I was going to do some serious damage, and now I'm getting a couple of shots on him right there. He was in trouble here, Gordon. He was in desperate trouble because he was in the ring right there with two men that he has hurt badly in wrestling, and two men that want to do some damage to him. I was going to try and break his leg right here, Gordon. That figure four leg lock on him, but here comes another Freebird. And it's hard to get this job done when they're all at the same time. There I am going after him, but you see what Michael Hayes does best right there. He runs, and he ran all night. And when it was all over, he was out on the floor running again, and I was right after him.
Well, I can certainly understand the deep-seated feelings that you have, and certainly those of the Junkyard Dog as well, because he, too, has felt the pain of injury from the fabulous Freebirds. I'd like to right now take a moment to remind all of you once again, of course, that Championship Wrestling returns to the Omni in Atlanta on May 17th at 8 p.m. That'll be Sunday, May 17th. And there will be a Georgia Heavyweight Championship title tournament night. $5,000 going to the winner, plus the Georgia Heavyweight Championship belt. And those contenders who have already entered are Dusty Rhodes, Iron Mike Sharp, Mr. Wrestling 2, Tommy Wildfire Rich, Ray Candy, Bruiser Brody, over 320 pounds. In addition, Greg Valentine, Ken Patera, Mike Boyer, Bill Irwin, and many, many more. And, of course, obviously, the gentleman who's with me right now, Ted DiBiase and the Junkyard Dog. No time limit, no disqualification against the fabulous Freebirds.
Gordon, this is what I've been waiting for. You know, I heard Michael Hayes out here. I heard you running your mouth, Hayes, saying that no disqualification matches are your kind of match, and how you were up all night last night and you feel nasty. You stayed up all night thinking about what you could do to me. Well, Hayes, I stayed up all night for 5 weeks thinking about you, and I went through a lot of pain and a lot of agony, first recovering from the neck injury and then getting this neck back in the shape it needs to be in to get in that ring, and that's a long time, Hayes. That's a long time to think about a man who tried to end your wrestling career, and that's how long I've been thinking about you. Well, now the rule book is out the window. You know, you got another shot at me. You put a few more stitches in his head. Well, Hayes, if I had to do that 50 more times, I'd do it. Because each time I get a little bit closer to you. And I know, Hayes, I know that you're thinking about it. I had you down last time. I was that far from blocking that figure 4 on your body and breaking your leg. Each time it gets a little bit closer. Well, this time, Hayes, there's no rules. Once we get by those 2 goons of yours, I can pick you up and I can drop you on your head 5 times, 6 times, 10 times, whatever it takes. And then I can put that figure 4 on you when you're unconscious and break your leg. Hayes, I'm going to do it.
You know, I've heard a lot of talk recently, and of course we saw Bruiser Brody in action last week, and it just turns out to be that Big Jim Duggan here happens to be a reasonably close friend of Bruiser Brody.
That's right, that's right. I'm really getting to question the intelligence of the people down south messing my name up all the time. I've been down here 2 or 3 months and they're still messing it up. But I want to question their intelligence in a very short time when a good friend of mine comes down. That's Mr. Bruiser Brody, the most impressive professional athlete that I have ever met in my career, bar none. Joe Green, any professional football player, any professional wrestler. You people mess up Brody's name, and you'll see what happens. Just take a look at this little tape we brought along here.
All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do at this point in time. Then let's take a look at Bruiser Brody in action. I think you'll see exactly what Mr. Duggan is referring to.
The final bout, most falls to curfew. Introducing from Santa Fe, New Mexico, weighing 322 pounds, King Kong Brody. From Fort Myers, Florida, weighing 260 pounds, Ed Schaefer.
We're going up against Bruiser Brody. Now, there's about a 60-pound weight differential between these two, but when you stop to think at how much more immense Brody appears to be than his opponent, and at 6'2", at 6'2 and a half, and at 260 pounds, he is not a small man that he's facing.
No, you lose conception of the size of the other wrestler with Brody in the ring. The man's immense. He's awesome.
Certainly no question about this, as you can see by the tremendous power that absolutely ripples through his entire body. But the interesting thing about Brody, in my opinion, and I have studied the man, I've watched his record, his win-loss record, and I might say it's lopsided in wins. But the fact that he apparently has no mercy whatsoever on his opponents.
No, he no matter what, he's just going to twist and turn and pull until his opponent is just a little wrecked up, you know? He won't cut anybody any slack at all.
All right, he keeps that side headlock, and at 260 pounds, this man Schaefer trying to break free from it, and Brody just continues to clamp down with those massive forearms, and I understand he's, about a 22 and a half inch bicep?
Oh, for sure. Look at it. You can hardly see that guy's head in there, the way Bruiser's got his arm clamped around. Those shots to the midsection have no effect at all on Bruiser.
This is the other thing. Whoa, and that enraged Brody as he caught one that must have stung just a bit, and all of a sudden it's Brody exploding on his man, catching him, bringing over him to the turnbuckle, smashing him into that turnbuckle. And again, you see the tremendous power here controlling a 260-pound individual. And another thing about Brody is that he seems to be ice cold in his methodology in approaching an opponent.
Oh, yeah, he has, you know, I don't know, what can you say about the man, you know? He's just working this guy over, throwing him around like a rag doll.
And Brody continues that punishment, even though they're on the ring ropes. Again, a massive forearm across the chest to put Schaefer back to the canvas. And it is Schaefer firing to the midsection once again, catching him in the side of the rib cage. Now drives him into the turnbuckle. Now watch the sudden explosive power of this man, Brody. All of a sudden.
Ooh, jeez, look at that.
And he drives Schaefer to the canvas and again continues his punishment on this man. Of course, the match did continue, but the other interesting aspect of this, as we're going to see right now, is that when it all came down to the very end, Brody resorted back to basic wrestling.
Sure, he's got a great background as an amateur wrestler. He can do anything, but when he gets loses his temper, what can you say?
And here we're seeing it as Brody continues to punish his man in the closing moments. But now watch here. From a snap mare, drives that knee into the chest. Now as he moves on his man, very quickly back to the basics, double hooks the legs, goes into a full Boston Crab. And so going back to the basics of wrestling, using that, he has certainly proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that he not only has the great physical attributes that we're talking about, but he has the great skill and knowledge of the sport. And there you can see him walking from side to side, cooling himself down, if you will. But certainly all I can say about this man, if he's a friend of yours, if you two tag up, it's going to create a lot of problems for a lot of people.
Well, I've been anxious for him to come down here. I've been listening to all his talk, all his music, all kinds of things going on. DiBiase, Tommy Rich. Well, when Bruiser Brody gets down here, there may be a little more than a little scab on some people's nose. He may do a little bit more damage than that, if you know what I mean.
Thank you so very much, Big Jim Duggan. We'll be back in a moment.
That's part of it, too. Because with stand back, I can snap back from pain and a snap. You know, you can take stand back a lot of ways. With water, juice, even soft drinks.
Stand back powders help you snap back from pain, even fever and inflammation in a snap.
I'm glad I know how to snap back with stand back. I like my evening nice and quiet.
Come on, Dusty. I want a boogie.
Take a look at wrestling throughout the nation right now, and here's the man to tell us about it, Freddie Miller.
Thanks, Gordon. Tonight in Chattanooga Memorial Auditorium. Tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock, Marietta, the Cobb County Civic Center. Monday, Augusta's Bell Auditorium. Tuesday, Dublin, Georgia. Wednesday, Columbus, Georgia. Thursday, outdoors, Roswell High Stadium, Tommy Rich, Ted DiBiase, and the Freebirds. Outdoors is coming Thursday night, May 7th, for the Scottish Rite Hospital in the North Fulton Annual Spring Festival. Friday, Talladega, Alabama. Sunday, May 10th, a big Mother's Day night spectacular in Carrollton, now a week from tomorrow. Tuesday, May 12th, Macon. Thursday, May 14th, Statesboro at the big Georgia Southern College. Friday, May 15th, back to Valdosta, Mathis Auditorium. Saturday, May 16th, Lawrenceville Central Gwinnett. Sunday, May 24th, Columbus, Ohio. Tickets now on sale at the Ohio Center and all 5 major Columbus Lazarus stores. Monday, May 25th in Huntington, West Virginia. That's the Cabell County Memorial Fieldhouse. It should be a big one. And, of course, Gordon, as you've mentioned, a sensational night, May 17th, the Omni right here in Atlanta. That's it.
Thank you so very much, Freddie. For those of you who may have tuned in a little bit late or something, let me just explain to you that Harley Race has regained the World Heavyweight Championship for a 6th time after being defeated by Tommy Rich in Augusta, Georgia. He regained the title this past Friday night. Now we're ready for our next match. Let's turn it over to our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this event, one fall with television time remaining. Introducing first from Riverdale, Georgia, at 245 pounds, here's Ken Timbs. Ken Timbs. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, at 237 pounds, here's Mr. Wrestling number 2. Wrestling number 2.
Wrestling 2 going up against Ken Timbs. One fall, television time remaining. Timbs holding a slight weight advantage here, but does not have the experience factor that Wrestling 2 would hold. Back to those ring ropes, a quick break. Once again, collar and elbow. Both men checking each other out for weight, balance, leverage, strength. But Timon got him into a high backdrop. Timbs back on his feet very quickly. Snap mare by Wrestling 2 has Timbs back to the canvas. Another snap mare. So Wrestling 2 moving very aggressively. Tried for an early pin. Front chancery now by Wrestling 2. Timbs escapes from that very nicely, but 2 turns it to his own advantage into a lateral press. Back to the side headlock. It's Wrestling 2 trying to maintain control here, keeping his man under control. Timbs, forearms to the side of the ribcage once again. 2 keeps the pressure on him. And 2. Got him 1, brings him up. Full body slam by Wrestling 2, and Timbs having a little problem coming up now. Front Chancery by 2. Timbs now using those forearms, and is wrestling 2, retaliating, catching Timbs and drives him to the canvas. Again, it's wrestling 2, hip lock takedown. Vaughn Campbell up in Washburn, Maine, has a great deal of respect for this man wrestling 2.
Come on, two.
Doug Vaughn's son, Dick Campbell, last night, and we were discussing the fact that this man has been such a tremendously popular competitor over the years. He, too, of course, is looking to win that World Heavyweight Championship.
Come on, two.
Wrestling 2 caught him in the midsection coming off the ropes. Time beginning to run down here as Wrestling 2 again drives that fist in the midsection of Ken Timbs. Back to the lateral press. The referee very quickly checking those shoulders. A count of 2. Once again to the front chancery. They're into the turnbuckle. The referee calls for the break. Timbs fires away on the break. Wrestling 2 caught him with that knee. Drove him off his feet. Wrestling 2 back to the canvas. Traps that left arm on the ropes, and 2 following the official very carefully. And Wrestling 2 is set for that knee if he can get a chance to deliver it. And Timbs trying to shake those cobwebs loose now once again. Collar and elbow toward the center of the ring. Timbs getting the side headlock. Timbs has proven to be a very tenacious competitor, and obviously has upset on his mind that 2 caught him, and 2 tried to set that knee in Timbs. A good back out by Timbs. He knows the devastation that can be set him if he's able to get that knee in, and he very quickly did a back out. Ducked away once again through the ropes. It's Timbs driving knee to the midsection, the forearm across the base of the skull and back of the head of Wrestling 2. And he started to go for that mask, and 2 explodes. 2 explodes, caught him with that knee. Timbs is down. And the worst mistake you can make with Wrestling 2 is go after that mask. He has a thing about that in no uncertain terms. Good high backdrop by Wrestling 2. Wrestling 2 setting now. Trying to go for that knee. Caught him with that $1 million kneeler. A count of 3. A count of 3, and it was all over for Mr. Ken Timbs as Wrestling 2 with that $1 million kneeler dispatched him in quick order indeed. When he suddenly tried to pull that mask away to see if he couldn't obscure the vision or what have you of 2 exploded, and it suddenly became all over. Well, of course, we've had, I think, an extremely exciting hour, a lot of exciting news, and again, we see the great competition in this area right now. A lot of great action upcoming during this next hour. Before we get into that, however, I'd like to remind all of you at this time that beginning next week, Georgia Championship Wrestling will be on the air here on Super 17 from 5:30 until 7:30. 5:30 until 7:30 on a regular weekly basis beginning next week. And also, the best of Championship Wrestling will be seen each Sunday night, 5:30 until 6:30. That'll be 5:30 till 6:30 on Sundays and 5:30 until 7:30 on Saturdays. During the next hour, of course, we'll be seeing Tommy Wildfire Rich in action. Also, we'll be talking again to the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, Mr. Jim Crockett, who just came back from Japan, regarding the situation, of course, of the Tommy Rich winning and then losing back the World Heavyweight Championship to Harley Race, who is now, Race has achieved the distinction of having regained the title on 6 different occasions. 6 different occasions. So all of this is upcoming. I think a lot of other interesting news coming up. We'll be seeing and talking to the Freebirds and regarding something else a $10,000 bounty that has been put out on Tommy Rich specifically by the Freebirds. So I can only say that things are moving very, very swiftly here in the state of Georgia. And by all means, keep your eye on what's going on. Right now we have our first match into the ring. So at this time, let's turn it over to our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this event one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Tucson, Arizona, at 240 pounds, Bobby Garrett. Bobby Garrett. His opponent, ladies and gentlemen, from Pensacola, Florida, from a famous brother family now in wrestling, at 218 pounds, here's Robert Gibson. Robert Gibson.
Robert Gibson being bulled back into the ropes by Bobby Garrett. And Garrett, a very aggressive wrestler. Gibson, in the ring, his actions speak for themselves. He is basically, in my opinion, a very shy, modest individual. With great athletic ability, as you can see there. Beautiful move by Gibson up on those ropes. And do a takedown on Garrett. Gibson in the blue trunks. Garrett in the black trunks. Well, the Golden Boy has returned to Atlanta. Chick Donovan will be seeing him later in the program, and it is Gibson, the hip lock takedown. Garrett got the head scissors. Gibson powers away from it. Garrett charges in once again and gets caught in another side headlock, and it is Robert Gibson again taking him to the canvas. Off the ropes, Gibson caught him a good shoulder smash, dropped Garrett to the canvas, into a side headlock, kick lock takedown.
Come on, Robert! Come on, Robert!
Garrett on the canvas. Here's Garrett. Hooked that far leg, tried to roll Gibson back into a pinning combination. Could not do so, however. Gibson, good hip lock takedown once again. Garrett making some complaint to the referee, but to no avail. Robert and his brother Ricky both have been raised to follow the rules and regulations. In all sports, they are versatile athletes. They are the sinewy kind of athletes who have a great, good movement that time. Gibson ducked away from it as Garrett tried to catch him with that elbow. Tremendous reflex actions on the part of Robert Gibson. After checking those shoulders once again. Jim McGuire, one of the premier officials in professional wrestling. You'll note the way he moves with the action constantly. Leapfrog by Gibson. Gibson turns to his man, brings him up. Oh, body slam. Notice how quickly McGuire was down there for the count, and it is McGuire again watching those shoulders. And McGuire will constantly inquire to any man who could be in a predicament or in trouble. He'll constantly inquire if he wants to concede. Does he want to give? It is his responsibility, obviously, to avoid any possible injury if he can to a competitor. By the same token, he wants to make sure those shoulders are both solidly on the mat. Garrett is using the inside of the fist, which is legal. And there again was legal. Full slam. Lateral press. And Gibson slid away very nicely. Gibson has been staggered. He's up into those ropes. And it is Garrett getting him off the ropes. Beautiful rolling reverse. A count of two. It looked like he had him. Garrett was able to power away from it, however. The thing about Gibson, for his experience, length of time in professional wrestling, he is absorbed knowledge like a sponge. Now you'll notice Garrett with that bear hug, putting pressure at the base of the rib cage, trying to expel the air from the lungs of Robert Gibson. And, of course, as he does this, the body tires even more rapidly. You can't get that fresh oxygen into the bloodstream. Up into a top wrist lock now. Garrett tried to press an advantage there. Gibson blocked him very nicely. To those ropes once again. Gibson fires off. Gibson caught with a shoulder smash by Garrett. And that time, as Garrett started to charge, Gibson moved in on him. Full body slam again. It's an inside cradle. Could not get those shoulders down, and McGuire again, very alert, very quickly moved in. Gibson studying his man. Both men could be changing their strategy at this point. It's Garrett with a side headlock. All right, Gibson, I'm sure, trying to figure an escape, trying to figure an offensive move. Garrett, realizing that Gibson will be trying to escape, now trying to also figure out what sort of a counter move if Gibson is able to slip away. Off the ropes once again. Beautiful drop toe by Robert Gibson. And Gibson, with that unusual variation coming off that toe, that has to tremendous pressure back on the knee and the ankle of Bobby Garrett. And this is going to create some problems for Garrett if he's able to escape from this. Into the ropes, the referee calls for the break, and it is Garrett. Back to his feet, but instinct was carrying him. He's got some problems now. The adrenaline is flowing. He'll feel the effects of that later. Went for the bulldog, and Gibson in trouble here is Garrett. Again, Gibson powers out before the count of three. And Gibson that time unloaded a sledgehammer on the back. Catches now a full body slam, lateral press. Garrett again powers out on the count of two. Gibson, standing, flying dropkick, has Garrett off his feet. Another dropkick catches Garrett to the side of the head. A third dropkick that drops him to the canvas once again. Gibson now back to that leg again. Gibson punishing that leg. The spinning toe hold by Robert Gibson. The spinning toe hold. There's the back bridge. The back bridge and the leg lock. The referee having to pull Gibson up, and that is a submission hold that absolutely put Bobby Garrett out of action. I want to get Robert Gibson over here and see if I can't chat with him for just a moment, because there were a couple of times during that match that he was definitely in trouble. When he caught you with that bulldog, it appeared to me that he was very close to a pinfall.
That's right, when that bulldog took me right in the forehead, it definitely knocked a little sense out of me. As you can see, I was able to come back and defeat my man.
Well, you were indeed, and I was pointing up, of course, that I know in high school athletics, you and your brother, of course, were always exponents of following the rules and regulations, and I find it difficult for you to separate when you're in there against somebody who's pulling some foul tactics, so you still try and stay by the rules.
That's right, Gordy. You know, that guy outweighed me about 25 pounds, but as you know, each time I'm here, I'm always the lighter one of all of them. I got one thing that equalizes all that, and that's my speed, my drop kicks. Once I get them down, they're the same size as me, Gordy.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're all the same size on the mat, but you got something else that a lot of people don't have, and that's tremendous fighting heart. Congratulations.
Well, I appreciate it, Gordy. I go out there all the time. I'm glad the fans are behind me. I love each and every one of them. Thank you, Gordy.
Okay. Robert Gibson And truly a fine, fine young athlete. Let's take a moment right now to talk about championship wrestling returning to the Omni. And that'll be on Sunday, May 17th at 8 p.m. And what an outstanding night of wrestling competition it's going to be. May I suggest that you call now and make your reservations at all seats locations at the Omni or the Sports Arena. Now, the Sports Arena is open 9 till 5 daily, and we certainly hope that you will call. There will be a round-robin tournament for the Georgia Heavyweight Championship. As you heard Michael Hayes say, he's putting an additional $10,000 up alongside the already $5,000 if somebody will put Tommy Rich out of action. Well, some of the competitors in that include Iron Mike Sharp, Mr. Wrestling 2, Tommy Rich, Ray Candy, Bruiser Brody, Dusty Rhodes, The American Dream, and many more. But then it will be Ted DiBiase and the Junkyard Dog taking on the fabulous Freebirds. No time limit, no disqualification. And the popular Steve O returns, the national heavyweight champion. He'll defend his title against Bobby Eaton. All of this action takes place at the Omni, Sunday, May 17th. It's certainly a pleasure to have back with us at this particular time the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, the oldest and largest sanctioning body of professional wrestling the world over, Mr. Jim Crockett. Jim, where does this put Tommy now in regards to the world title?
Well, I would say that it makes Tommy the number one contender for the world's belt.
Well, he, of course, had a short reign as the world heavyweight champion, but it really puts him in a very elite group now.
A very, very elite group. Very few men have held the world's championship belt. I mean, we go back to Ed Strangler, Lewis, and the Funks, and the Briscoes, Gene Kaniski. And Tommy Rich's name goes down with these gentlemen as the world's champion.
Certainly no question about that. Plus, I think it has to say a lot, too, for the tenacity and the determination of Harley Race, who is once again the world champion.
Yes, Harley now has held the belt 6 different times. That's more than anybody else has ever done. I think it also speaks well of the caliber of wrestling you have here in Georgia, that Tommy Rich has met many top contenders here, and this has helped Tommy and groomed him to be the champion.
Certainly, we want to take our opportunity right now to thank Jim Crockett, who just flew in from Japan on a very, very busy schedule, for taking time out to be with us today. It's a pleasure to have him along. We have a matchup coming, so let's turn it over to our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this tag team event scheduled one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Now entering the ring, as you can see, the coast of the coast, the national tag team champions. Here are the fabulous Freebirds. The Freebirds. Their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, from Columbus, Georgia, at a combined weight of 460 pounds, Ted and Jerry Oates. Here are the Oates brothers, Ted and Jerry Oates.
Hey, Ted and Jerry Oates, two outstanding competitors. Great tag team combination. They have wrestled all over the world. They are from Columbus, Georgia. Moving against him, and that's Buddy Roberts circling and being very cautious. They meet collar and elbow. Oates ducks away. Arm drag takedown on Roberts. Michael Hayes outside the ring. Once again, this time into an arm drag and twist. Oates reverses the situation. Roberts very quickly makes it back to the ring ropes, and that forces the break. Again, an arm drag takedown and a head scissors. Full arm drag and twist now is good fireman carry takedown. Ted and Jerry Oates facing Buddy Roberts, Terry Gordy. And notice the way that Oates tenaciously hung in on that arm. Hard as they circle again once again. It is Terry Gordy moving into the ring. Having tagged up. Now with a side headlock. Beautiful on-drag takedown. All right, Ted Oates in the ring now. And a very excited crowd here at the television sports arena as they watch the Oates brothers in action against the Freebirds. Good move by Oates in behind his man. Gordy ducking through those ropes, however. Smashing Oates' head into the knee of Buddy Roberts. Roberts moves in again. Roberts using that forearm effectively, now using the elbow. Roberts whipped into that far turnbuckle, and there you see Michael Hayes going toward that corner. Roberts in a lot of trouble here. Roberts again whipped in the near. That time, caught Oates coming in with a knee. Oh, body slam. Terry Gordy moves in, drives a knee into the head. Front chancery now by Terry Gordy. To those ropes. Gordy fires him on. To the high backdrop. And he's got some real problems now. Full body slam. It's Roberts coming down. Oates rolls out of the way just in time. And it was Oates catching him coming in. One in the midsection. Snap mare takes Oates to the canvas once again. Locks over the arm. Harassing Buddy Roberts, trying to get him on that back. And, of course, Roberts had a back injury not too long ago. He's somewhat sensitive in that area. Terry Gordy moves in. Oh, ducks under him. Tried to catch him with a drop kick. It was Gordy sliding away. Then the forearm across the side of the head. Midsection once again, and Buddy Roberts moves into the ring, and so the referee having his hands full with these Freebirds. Neckbreaker by Roberts. Oates again powers out. And both men colliding. It appears those heads struck momentarily. The referee warning Michael Hayes to stay away. Tag is made. Roberts made the tag. Oates did not. Oates slips through, makes the tag. Terry Oates moves in now, and he's exploding on Terry Gordy. Up for a beautiful flying head scissors. Has Gordy into those ropes. Whips him off the ropes once again. A high backdrop. Gordy coming down on the side of that hip. That could create some problems. He whips Terry Gordy into Buddy Roberts, and now the Oates brothers beginning to dominate the situation. The referee trying to separate it. We've got a Pier Sixer going here. All four men in the ring at the same time. And the referee trying desperately to get them separated out. Wait a minute. Michael Hayes up on that rope. Caught by Oates. And it was Hayes hurtled into the ring. Hayes hurtled into the ring now. Buddy Roberts has him. And now Michael Hayes taking it out on the Oates brothers as he's tied up by Buddy Roberts, Terry Gordy. As the other Oates brothers, and we've got problems here. The referee calling for the bell. The referee calling for the bell. And both of the Oates brothers could have a problem here as Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, and Buddy Roberts trying to dominate a situation. And it's Terry Oates on the canvas, fighting for everything that he's got. Getting things separated, the Oates brothers are victorious via disqualification. Michael Hayes for interference is disqualified. And as it should be, the official and a good call on that one for sure.
Oh, who says it's a good call? You say it's a good call. I say don't hurt. That's good enough for me. You understand? That's good enough for me. And what else is good enough for me? It's a no disqualification match. A match for anybody.
Well, Sunday, May 17th at the Omni in Atlanta. You're going to get that one. No time limit, no disqualification.
No time limit. That means we can do it all night long. And you know I'm good at doing things all night long. Sometimes I've been faced with situations where I ain't even done with the night. You know what I'm talking about? But come to Omni on the 17th, we can do it all night long any way we want to, and the way I like to do it is hot and nasty. That's what I like about Fantasia. It's hot. It's nasty. You know what makes me mad? When I drive down a Georgia highway and see somebody from Columbus, Ohio, driving on the same highway. In fact, it makes me mad when I see somebody from Georgia driving on the same highway. And when I think about Georgia, I think about Tommy Rich. And that's why. Now, see, this is what you got in Georgia right here. $10,000 for anybody. Money's the root of all evil, I know it, because that's how I make it, with evil ways. And dusty roads can be bought. Ken Patera, Bruiser Brody, there's a lot of guys there that would like to make not only the Georgia Championship, not only the $5,000 that Georgia Championship Wrestling put up, but $10,000 of Fantasia money to hurt, to annihilate, to get rid of Tommy Rich. And as far as...
Ladies and gentlemen, this event, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. One fall's in. Introducing first, formerly from Macon, Georgia, now out of Hollywood, California. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Golden Boy Chick Donovan. Golden Boy Donovan. His opponent, adding more honors all the time. Already now #1 contender for World Championship honors from Nashville, Tennessee. Already a former world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Wildfire Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich.
All right, Chick Donovan moving up against Tommy Wildfire Rich. And one has to greatly admire Tommy Rich. He has matured tremendously. He really has. Here's a young fellow who went through a very critical period of time in his life, and he just chased Golden Boy. He just chased Golden Boy, Chick Donovan, right out of the ring. Tommy Rich, having won and then lost the World Heavyweight Championship, but he now knows that he can do it, and that, I'm sure, must be the thing that continues to keep his mental attitude correct. He knows now it can be done, and he is capable of doing it. And that is just a tremendous accomplishment for this young man. All right, they lock up. I'll tell you what, this Donovan has bulked up tremendously. He is really concentrated, and he threw a hard right hand, and it was Tommy Rich ducking away from it. And as Donovan moved in, he was caught again by Rich, and Rich now caught him with a flying drop kick, and Donovan scampers out of the ring once again. Donovan. A picture and study of frustration. Rich helps Donovan back in the ring, and Rich is standing ready. I really have to admire Tommy. You would think that, and I think that's the thing that impresses me so much, is he is a man of championship class. He has a profoundly different mental attitude than he's ever had before in his life, and it obviously is going to bring him great things in the future. Golden Boy watching him. Donovan now changing comments with some of the folks here at the sports arena. Good back leg trip. Donovan tried to block it, could not. Rich just simply overpowered him and took him back to the canvas. Donovan again using those ring ropes. Tommy Rich, single leg pickup. To the ropes, but Rich tiring of that brings Golden Boy back to the center of the ring. Tommy Rich keeping that leg barred. Donovan trying to figure some method for escape. Rich drives a knee into those femoris muscles once again. Now notice the way he's coming to the outside of the knee. Pulling that leg back to the other side. And he's also got that ankle in a precarious position. He's able to break it up, and Richard's right back in on top of him once again. So Rich continues to press the advantage on Chick Donovan. And Donovan in trouble now. His hamstrings could have been stretched on that one, and Donovan having problems trying to get circulation going back, and now gets him. And Donovan now begins to explode on Tommy Rich. Has Rich in trouble? No, sir. Rich fires back. And Rich now throwing caution to the wind. High drop. Rich in behind him. Arm whips him off the rope. Catches him. Vertical body block. See if I can't call Tommy Rich over for just a moment and talk to him, because obviously the set of circumstances that have occurred during this past week, Tommy Rich is back in full 110% form. And may I say, too, that I've noticed a great deal of mental maturation on your part.
Maturing, Gordon, maturing. I guess it's, used to it going to the ring, and I wouldn't think about what I did. I'd go in there, I'd do it, and I do all the stuff I do that I know that I do best. But there would be no plan to it. And Tommy Rich has got to the point. You take Harley Race, one of the best ring veterans you ever seen. That's because he uses his head. And that's what I started doing.
Well, you have indeed, and I must say that your mental attitude, your emotional attitude right now seems to be totally superior, and you certainly proved it moments ago.
Well, thank you very much, Gordon. I didn't know whether to wrestle or dance that guy. Dance with him. But as far as that goes, we got another sissy running around, too. And I'm just, waiting to get a piece of him.
Okay, well, thank you so very much. Tommy Rich.
Gordon.
All right, former world heavyweight champion Tommy Rich. Now then, on Sunday, May 17th at the Omni in Atlanta, match time is 8 p.m. And, of course, there will be a one-night round-robin tournament for the Georgia Heavyweight Championship. And, well, Tommy, you're entered in that tournament.
Yes, sir, Gordon.
$10,000 bounty on you.
Yeah, that's the reason I wanted to come back. I heard you start talking about it. $10,000 bounty. Well, Mr. Sissy, if you got the guts, brother, right there at the Omni, just bring yourself there. $10,000. You got Iron Mike Sharp. You got Bruiser Brody. Tim, you got Dusty Rhodes. I don't think Dusty Rhodes would jump on me. But for $10,000, you don't know what's going to happen. But Hayes, you send them all on after me, because I'm going to stay in your side. I'm going to be a thorn in your side. The Georgia heavyweight belt, $5,000, and to know I cost you $10,000 means a whole lot to me, Mr. Sissy. So you get your money ready. The Omni, I'm coming. I'm going after the Georgia belt, $5,000, and you're $10,000, Hayes.
Oh, the Freebirds have been fined $10,000, and there are several instances that led up to that particular point. They were fined initially for what happened to Ted DiBiase, and then, of course, for further action. So I thought what we might do is go back and take a look at these instances that caused the $1,000 worth of fines to be levied against the Freebirds.
Unjustly fines, unjustly. If anybody tries to hurt us, it's okay.
He's deliberately opening those ring ropes, giving the instructions to Terry Gordy, bringing DiBiase up, and right here on the concrete. And, of course, DiBiase went on beyond that point to get back into the ring. How he did it, I'll never know. And he was injured so badly that Atlanta's finest, the paramedics, were called in. They responded in record time. They got Ted to the hospital. Ted's recovering. We'll talk more about that later. But that constituted the first $5,000 fine. Now, the second $5,000 fine came about as a result of a match at the Omni when the Junkyard Dog was again hit with this mysterious cream that Michael Hayes was carrying with him to the ring. That cream has now been confiscated by the National Wrestling Alliance. Its contents have been analyzed, and due to the dangerous substances that were in there, they have refused to let me know precisely what was in it. But nonetheless, it has been confiscated, and a second fine of $5,000 has been placed on the Freebirds. Let's go back to that moment in history at the Omni when this situation that Michael Hayes claims was an accident occurred with the Junkyard Dog. You see the Junkyard Dog here. Hayes had come into the ring. The Junkyard Dog with a series of headbutts had put Michael Hayes down. This was a tag team match. Michael Hayes paying the price for his interference. The Junkyard Dog makes the tag with Tommy Wildfire Rich, the sensational young athlete who will fight his heart out, give you 150% at all times. And in just a moment, you're going to see a most unusual occurrence that, again, almost put the Junkyard Dog out of action. And he is still recuperating. Now, here comes Hayes. He has no business. He's doing something, as you can see, with his back to the cameras and back to us. Now, as he comes in, there's that cream. It strikes Junkyard Dog directly in the face. Hayes claims that he tripped. And this is what happened.
Accidents can happen to anybody. You know something? When we were growing up, mothers used to say, don't play with them because they're bad company. Well, that's something we can't deny because we will be bad company till the day we die. I was in the airport on the way here, and some old fat lady comes up to me and says, you know, for a nice-looking boy, I can't understand why you're so mean. I said, first of all, I'm a man. I'm not a boy. And, Coach, that's the way we like it. We like to be mean when we're pushed. And that's what happened to DiBiase. He pushed. He pushed. And you made us do what we did. I stayed up for 48 hours straight. Everybody thought that day on TV that we were going to hurt Junkyard Dog, and we fooled everybody and toted Ted DiBiase to the hospital. Well, I told you a long time ago, and I mean what I say, and if you don't know that by now,